Hey, if you've been tracking the radar lately, you know that the VA is planning to move the goalposts on two of the most common claims in the entire system: tinnitus and sleep apnea. There is a lot of noise and fear floating around about these 2026 rule changes. Some people are saying the benefits are going away entirely. Others are telling you not to worry about it. I'm just going to spell it out for you perfectly straight. The rules are changing. And if you are still sitting around waiting for the right time to file, you're about to get locked out of the old system. So today we're going to break down exactly what these changes look like, why the VA is doing this, and most importantly, how you can take the lead right now to lock in your rating before the gates shut. Under the current rules, tinnitus, ringing in your ears, is a standalone 10% rating. It doesn't matter if you have it in one ear or both. It's 10%, period. It's often the gateway claim because it's easy to service connect for anyone who worked around loud equipment, ammunition, flight lines, engine rooms, etc. Now, the proposed change for 2026 turns tinnitus into a symptom, not a disability. They want to bundle it into other conditions like hearing loss. If that happens and you don't have significant measurable hearing loss, that 10% is not going to exist anymore. Then we have sleep apnea. Right now, if you're service connected and required to use a CPAP machine and can make the connection, that's an automatic 50% rating. It is one of the most significant pillars in a veteran's combined rating. The new rules want to change that so that the CPAP doesn't matter. They want to rate you based on how much functional impairment you have. And what that means is the machine is working and you aren't waking up gasping for air every 5 minutes. They want to give you a 0% for it at this point. This is clearly the definition of the system moving into maintain mode. They want to maintain the budget by reducing the number of veterans who qualify for these high value ratings. If you stay in the passenger mode and just wait for the VA to decide, when you're ready, you're going to fall. You're going to fail. It's going to be rough with these harder rules. So in order to jump in the driver's seat, you have to understand the grandfather rule. In the VA system, if you're already rated for a condition, or if you have a claim pending before the new rules go into effect, you're generally protected. You keep the old rules, you keep the original date. The goal for every veteran watching this is to get your claim into the system before those lights go out. The very first tactical step that you need to take today, not tomorrow, today, is to file put in your intent to file. This is a simple action that puts a timestamp on your claim. It tells the VA, I'm coming for these benefits and I'm starting the clock now. That timestamp is your ticket into the current system. It locks in the current rating criteria for 1 year while you gather your evidence. Now, you have to file within 1 year. Once you get that, verify your medical records. You can't just show up to a medical exam after you have done that and say, hey, my ears are ringing. I'm tired all the time. That's not a good idea. It allows the examiner to drive, and you don't want to do that. You need a formal diagnosis in your records from a doctor. If you don't have a sleep study on file, get one. If you haven't seen an audiologist for that ringing in your ears, go get checked out. You also need to point to the event in service. You have to point to that time in your career where the damage was done. The loud environments, the exposures, the injuries, burn pits, etc. The final piece, though, is going to be the nexus. This is the bridge that we talked about. Connects your current diagnosis back to your service. For sleep apnea, this is often won as a secondary condition. If you have PTSD or a physical injury that led to weight gain, and that weight gain caused or aggravated your sleep apnea, that's a valid medical bridge. But you have to be the one to build that bridge. You have to provide the medical evidence that shows A led to B. Don't wait for the duty to assist that we talked about, because that's not going to work out well for you. Driving this thing means you show up with the diagnosis, you show up with the records, and you show up with the nexus all ready to go. You hand the VA a completed package, so they have no choice but to say, all right, we've got data to support it. I know that some of you are probably worried about opening a can of worms. You're afraid that if you file for a new condition, the VA will look at all your other ratings and try to reduce them. Look, if your conditions are stable and you have the documentation to prove they haven't improved, you're in a position where you're strong. Fear is a passenger mindset. Strategy is your driver mindset. If you're sitting at 90% and you know you have sleep apnea, but you haven't filed because you're comfortable, you're leaving a lot on the table. Reaching that 100% threshold it's not just about the money. It's about the health care. It's about the survivor benefits. It's about all those things, state benefits. Now, the time gap is closing. The final rule gets published and that clock's going to stop. If your intent to file is not in by then, you're going to be playing by new, much harder rules. So go to VA, open your account, start the claim, get that, intent to file. Don't finish it, but get the timestamp on it. That will be the most important 5 minutes of work that you do for your future. Now, with that said, I do have my VA claims operating system, and I know I'm advertising that every single time that I put a video out, but it's only $29. And from what I'm gathering from the feedback, it is high value. I know it's low cost, and it's going to help you get through the system. Okay? So, with that, let's wrap up real quick. Okay? Don't wait too long. Don't delay this because you don't know or you don't believe that the change is coming. You have to get that intent to file. So stop watching the video in about 30 seconds when it's finished because, it helps me get the video out. And then go log into va.gov, get your intent to claim or get your intent to file a claim in. Okay? All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that all of this information gets out to more veterans so that they can use it. And keep your head up, keep fighting, take care of one another, and I'll see you in the next one.